So we're live, eh?
We're live.
Okay. Bruce Rave here at South by Southwest. This is part 2. Van McCann of
Yeah,
Catfish
mate.
and the Bottlemen.
Thank you very much, man.
Good to see you
Good
again,
to see you. It's an
man.
absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah, yeah. You know, this is a great opportunity because when we got together at the Echo last fall,
Yeah.
things were just starting for you in America, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talked about how there were a couple of key stations thinking about playing your song.
Yeah,
Kathleen.
yeah.
Well, now you've had a top 15 in America.
I know, mate. Tell me about it. It's very, very like humbling to say the least. You know, like very inspiring for us to kind of come out here off one tour, have it all sell out, and then the next one's already like pretty much sold out. The album drop did well, like you say. Kathleen was in the alternative chart and stuff like that. It's just mind blowing, mate. You know, like it's mad to come over here and hear it on the radio and see that many people excited by it. So it's crazy, mate. Couldn't have asked for a nicer response. Really, it's mad.
Well, the crowd at the Echo really liked you guys, and I was in Australia 2 weeks after you were there. I was in Australia when you played at the Troubadour. How was the Troubadour show?
Unbelievable. One of the best gigs I've ever played. I think it was a really good night. You know, like we had a few friends there and that, and like the first time ever we'd had like a night in the dressing room because we were so excited for it, and it was kind of the start of the tour pretty much. We had the first night really where we had a kind of night out in the dressing room before we went on.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on stage as if we were on a night out. Do you know what I mean? It was just a really good night. We just had a great time, and we played good, and it was just full. I was just blown away by it. It was because it was a big room. You know what I mean? Like for us in America, it was big for one of our first shows. So like to look out and see that many people excited, and you know that many people invested in like our music, in my songs, and you know the lads' sound. It was just mad. It was just great. It's just unbelievable.
It's a great place to play. We were talking a few minutes ago about how legendary it is. So it was great that you guys got to do that. And I would imagine that you're not only seeing larger American crowds, but the familiarity and maybe even beyond Kathleen. You're finding they don't know some of the other songs too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I had a few mates there, like who are from LA, and they've seen loads of bands there, you know, and stuff like that, and they'd be like, I've never seen that happen before. You know, not that many people singing the album tracks before. It's normally like your hit single or you know the one that's been promoted most, but every single song people knew. It's great. It's been like that every gig, every single song. Like, you know, Kathleen hasn't been the one that, you know, like stands out when we say this one's Kathleen. It's not really been made a fuss of. It's just like settled in. It's nice. I like that. Like it's always been the case with us. You know, in England, we released pretty much every song off the album because the label couldn't decide which one was the single. You know, so it's great. You know, it's a great. For me, it's a lovely problem to have. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, absolutely. Some people say it's a bad thing. I disagree. If the songs
totally.
are there, and that's that's your goal, right?
Yeah,
that's what you want is an album full of great songs.
Exactly. Well, the whole concept behind the album was to make it an album full of singles. We didn't want to release like an album, like a story. It was just about like a collection. We wanted it to be like a greatest hits without actually releasing one. Do you know what I mean? Like the early Strokes record, to me, like the first Strokes record or the first Oasis record, they were just like, you know, like any of those songs could have been a lead single. You know what I mean? So off that Strokes album. So that was the kind of the mentality we went with, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And those were classic albums. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about a few of the songs. I might as well ask you now since we're talking about it. Now, last time we did a feature, I stuck in 3 songs, so let me ask you about some of the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, what about Pacifier?
What do you want to know about it?
Well, it's just how did it come together? Anything?
Pacifier. The whole song is like a seesaw. That's like this. I wanted to write like a kind of bipolar song. I wanted it to be really positive sounding, with like really. Sorry about that. Positive sounding with like really like dark lyrics, like so it's kind of a seesaw kind of song. So the tune's about like the way me and my mate used to deal with death. Like she used to really get kind of crippled by it, and it used to like get her down. Whereas I was always raised to kind of be like, that happens. You know what I mean? People die, you move on, and you go and you know you celebrate. You don't look back and you know pry or you know like just sit there and kind of wallow in it. And it's hard to do, you know what I mean? But I've been raised a certain way. When people die in my family, you go out and you have a drink and you talk about how great they were. You know what I mean? I don't really sit and wallow in it. I'm just like, life's life, you know. People die, you know. Like, so that song, it sounds dark now, but the song was supposed to be like a kind of an argument about that. So the whole song's just conversational, really. It's quite a dark thing to write.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think without going down a whole tangent, I think that a lot of people, when they do pass away, they don't want people to come to their wake. And, You know, they want them to come, but they want them to celebrate.
Yeah, my mum's the same. She said, just, you know, when I die, don't worry about funerals and that. Just take everyone out, pay for everyone to get a drink in, just have a good laugh on me. You know what I mean? So, you know.
So you grew up with that mentality.
Yeah. So the song's basically just about like. I don't know, it sounds dark. It sounds really dark, but it was just I wanted to write. There's a band called Little Comets in England who are very good at writing really positive pop tunes with like really dark melodies and like dark kind of dark lyrics. Sorry, not melodies. And that's what I just wanted to try that out for one song, you know. And I really love that song because it sounds big.
I believe I heard they're touring with you in England.
Yeah. We just announced it. They're our best mates. They took us on tour at the start of the year. They taught us everything we know about about music. You know what I mean? Like
no kidding.
They looked after us, and I grew up listening to them big time. And yeah, they took us on tour and we became best mates, and that was it. So we kind of returned the favour. I always said if we take off, mate, you know, we're taking you with us. So when the gig started selling out back in England, it was just like. It just seemed right. I can't wait. Gonna go home like next week. Go home, meet my best mates. I've not seen them in months. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great.
It's gonna be great crack.
Yeah, and I heard great things about Australia. You guys killed it down there.
It was great. It was absolutely. I just literally got an email off on Pete from the Kooks. Then he's literally just mailed me then. Yeah, mate. Like them, the same with them. Like Little Comets. They took us in like we were brothers. You know what I mean? Like we were their little brothers, and you know we. When the first Kooks record came out, when I must have been like 16, I guess 15, maybe younger than that actually. And when was it? 2005, 2006. Christ, that was ages ago. It was like, to me, it was like the Rolling Stones. It was like a tight Rolling Stones, you know. So like I was banging to them. So to get invited out there by them and know that they liked our music and our record was amazing. And as soon as we started speaking to each other, it was just like, you know, mates instantly. And they got me up on stage with them last night to play in front of like 16,000 people. I was like, yeah, it was crazy, mate.
What song did you guys play?
We played a song called Sofa Song. You know, like I just picked the shortest one in the set, so I was like in and out, like, you know, I didn't want to cramp their style really. But the even down to their crew, like, you know, like tour manager, like their techs, like they just looked after us. Every single person on that tour looked after us, and we were in Australia. Do you know what I mean? 22-year-olds in Australia. We're like from the middle of nowhere, so you know, to go the other end of the world just because of music it's madness, absolute madness.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And of course, you have England coming up. You just mentioned.
Yeah.
And since we saw you at the Echo in the fall, you had some major dates in England as well, I believe.
Yeah. I can't. What did we do now? I can't remember. It's so everything goes by so quick. It was all mad. You know, like we keep forgetting that we're coming back to playing 2 nights at Shepherd's Bush Empire in London, which is like, I think it's like 2,500, 3,000.
That's great.
Yeah, but we just did like 2 nights at Brixton. Like, so we just put that on sale. It sold out in 9 minutes, which is 10,000. So it's like, it's really weird for us. We're always going on tour with another tour waiting, sold out, and it's like, it's really weird to know that. Because we always were just like, right, let's take it 6 months at a time, you know, right. Like kind of know where we're at. But to know you've got a career ahead of you, you know, to know you have 10,000 people waiting for you whilst you're still on stage in front of, you know, 5,000 is mind blowing. So it's like, you know, it's all just that exciting, man. I can't remember that tour though. Like I can't remember where we played. We did the Ritz in Manchester, Liverpool. Oh, I remember Liverpool Academy. Like I don't remember them because they weren't very good, but like they were mad. They were madness. So it was just all like. I just remember looking out, like all I can see is my mic stand and everybody else just going absolutely berserk, you know what I mean? So, but the last gig of the tour was in Liverpool, and that's where I grew up watching. It's a place called the O2 Academy, and it's where I grew up watching all my favourite bands. So like all the stains on the roof, all the beer stains, they were my stains, you know what I mean? And my mates, and like I was saying that to the crowd, I was like, those stains, I want you to like overwrite them, you know what I mean? Like, because I grew up watching bands there, and to sell that out and have me best mates in there, and like me best mate side stage with me was just like a bit of a moment for me. Nice.
Yeah. So how are you holding up? I mean, it's been nonstop. You had a couple of weeks off, I think, around the holidays, right? You holding up well?
Knackered, man. Absolutely knackered, but dead happy. Dead happy. Yeah. Like none of us have really slept. Poor Dan, look, our tour manager. He's not slept in about a week. He's a nervous wreck. But it's just chaos in it. But that's the life you know we opted for. So you've just got to go for it. But I lost my voice last couple of days, and it's not. And I went to the doctors and stuff to make sure I wasn't doing it. Like I hadn't done any damage because I literally couldn't even speak. And he checked me up, and he was like, you know, you're as fit as a fighter. Like, because I you know, like I'm on stage every night training. I play football and stuff. I always keep fit. I eat good on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like I smoke and I drink a bit, but not enough to, you know, derail me. And he was just like, no, you know, you're clear. You got nothing wrong with you. Like, but it's just literally you're being worn out. You know, so it's just like if you got a big football match on the weekend, you don't play your best. You don't train your striker too hard in the week because his legs will be tired. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just worn myself out. You know, I was gone. I was just gone. But I feel I'm dead happy. I'm totally in love with the music. It's the best thing in the world. I can't complain. It's amazing. And
it's coming together pretty much according to plan for you guys.
So yeah, like more than together for us. Like just playing outside of where we came from is good enough for us. You know what I mean? So like I said, to have 10,000 people in London, like London, we're nowhere near. We're from nowhere near London. Do you know what I mean? So
and you know what I thought was kind of interesting. I get NME.
Yeah.
Here, I see it all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And they've done kind of an about face. They've become Catfish and the Bottlemen fans.
Yeah.
You know, they mean, I don't know if they loved you at first, but they've really been supportive lately.
Yeah, at first, no, not at first. We're getting a lot of stick for this actually because you know, like when they first came out, we were a bit like, fuck yous, and they were like, fuck you, and we're kind of against each other a bit, but which was cool, you know what I mean? And I met journalists after that, and I was like, it's funny, it's a good read, you know what I mean? Like, it's good when people like, you know, see us scrapping. It's nice. That's what, you know, rock and roll is about. Like, you know, like we're giving you something to write about, and you're giving people something to read about. So I didn't mind it, but then they just did. I don't know what it was. They just dismissed us. But then a guy called Dan Stubbs from the Enemy came to see us in London, and he sat me down, and I literally went, you hate us, mate. Why are you coming to speak to me? You hate us. And he was really cool about it, and we just had a proper like man-to-man at the table, and I was like, listen, like, because I didn't get it, you know, they just didn't. I didn't get why they didn't, you know. Well, I did actually, because we're not fashionable, you know what I mean, and we don't really play the game. We do our own thing, and if you know, like, and if we don't think something's right for our band, we'll say no to it, and sometimes that offends people. They shocked that you know.
And you've been really upfront about your ambitions.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and you know, people aren't used to saying, hear a band say we want to play stadiums.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't believe that. I don't understand it. It baffles me the way people don't say it. Like, I know it can be seen as arrogance, but if you say it as in, like, the way I say it, like, I try not to be, I hope it doesn't come across as arrogant, but it's just like, I want to be the best person I can be. Whether if I'm somebody's boyfriend, I want to be the best boyfriend I can be, do you know what I mean? Or if I'm having a kid, I'm going to be the best dad to it I can be, or whatever. Like, you know, if I was going to be a footballer, I wouldn't be happy sat on the bench at Manchester United. I want to be the captain in the first team, do you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to be? Like, that's, in my head, that's the way I've always wanted it anyway. So, but I grew up watching people like Muhammad Ali, you know what I mean? Like, my dad used to have his DVDs on for me all the time. As a baby, I wasn't watching cartoons. I was watching him just, like, talk, and I was like, this guy, heavyweight champion of the world, you know? But, like, yeah, we got loads of stick for it, but to me, like, it's all good crack, you know what I mean? I don't mind magazines giving us grief, and that's part of it, and the fact that they now, you know, Dan Stubbs, that the guy I was telling you about, went away and called us a grassroots phenomenon. And like a guy called Kevin Perry came out and seen us in Chicago when I'd lost my voice, and they just completely just went from, they've come to see us live, they give us an opportunity, and then they went, you know what, these have worked hard. Like, he came off stage, Dan Stubbs, to me, and he pulled me to one side, and he was like, I swear to God, that was like seeing Oasis in the early days, you know what I mean? He was like, it blew my head off. And like, this was in London, to 1,500 people on that last tour. It wasn't, you know, like a stadium by all means, but it felt like it. The crowd, like, I came off stage, our sound guy was like, I was like, how was it? And he was like, I couldn't hear you. The crowd were just going crazy. And for a London crowd to do that, you know, like, it happens in Glasgow or Manchester, but in London it doesn't happen. So I'm so I've been posting, like, I'm so proud that they like us now. Do you know what I mean? Like, they come out and they hated us, and now they love us because we've proved them. We've gone away and we've gone, you know what? We weren't idiots about it. We just like, we had a laugh with them about it, and then we said, of course you welcome our gigs, you know what I mean? We're always standoffish with them until, you know, like, whatever. And then they came, you know, changed their opinion on us, and because we worked hard enough to blow them away. It was nothing like bending over for no one, you know what I mean? And you know, the guys they've sent down to see us have been total gentlemen about it, and they've totally sat and let me say my piece and told it like it was, you know, like it's great. I love it. I'm dead proud of it. I love the fact that you can convert somebody they thought we were total, like, they thought we were, you know, like, we were going to flop, like, you know, like, but the people, like, didn't let it. It was only the people behind it, really, the people in Radio 1 and XFM, and that was it. And, you know, it was just fills me with pride when I read all that stuff, a grassroots phenomenon. You know, going from, like, I think, like, the first time they wrote about us, they called us, like, Catfish and the Twatmen or something like that. And then
that is so British.
Yeah, and then a month later, grassroots phenomenon. So, you know, I was filled with pride. So anybody gives me shit for it can get fucked. You know what I mean? I'm made up.
Oh, no, that's great stuff. How has all of this, if it has, things are happening fast. You're seeing big crowds. Really love what you're doing.
Yeah.
How has it changed your outlook on life, if it has?
Changed my outlook on. It's just made me realise that, like, I don't know, to be honest. It's hard without sounding morbid. The only thing I've noticed that's changed is that I can't keep hold of anything. Do you know what I mean? Everything I love gets taken off me, but it's like that's the only thing that's changed, that I can't see anybody. You know what I mean? I don't even know where my mum and dad are at the moment. Like, I've not spoken to my mum and dad in months, and, like, you know, like, you kind of lose all the people that were everything to you. Do you know what I mean? For this, but then you fly around the world and you get to see all these places, and you can live life while you're young, and, like, you know, make music and see, you know, the fact that, you know, I've seen my mum and dad for 22 years. You know what I mean? And it kills me that I don't see them now, but at the end of the day, I know they love me, and I love them to bits. But to see 60,000 people one day in a football stadium singing me tunes back to me, I know that would fill them with more pride than sat at home giving them a cuddle. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, you lose a lot, you lose so much coming up with it, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. If you get there, it'll be worth it. And if not, at least you had a go. You know what I mean? At least you had a big, like, at least we had a big go. We're proper going for it, and we're having a laugh with it. We love it. We absolutely love it. We're just having the best time, you know. Oh,
that's great. Absolutely. I think it'll be fun to see you here. You're at South by this week. How many shows are you playing this week?
We're playing 4, I think, or 3. But quite a lot of sessions, you know, like a lot of promo and a lot of sessions and stuff like that. So yeah, we're doing like 3 or 4, and then, like, straight back to England, land, you know, go have a shower, and then straight on for a month's tour. Might not even have a shower, you never know. Depends if the flights are delayed. But yes, another month straight in, and then straight back out to here, which is nearly sold out again, and then Australia and Tokyo, and I don't know, mate. It's bizarre, absolutely bizarre life. You know, it's crazy.
Oh, that's amazing. How's Japan for you? That'll be your first time?
It'll be our second time going. We just come back from our first time. We went straight from Australia to Japan, and that was the first place in my life I felt famous ever. Like, people were following our cars and, like, waiting in our hotels, and, you know, even finding, just because they knew me and Bondi smoked, they'd find the smokers bit on the roof and wait there for us in case we went for a cigarette. So, mate, it was just just crazy. It was just like people following us everywhere, and that, it was mad. Just dead funny, you know. Like, we were just dead made up that they're so happy. You know what I mean? They bring you presents, and, like, they're just like, please sign my vinyl, and I'm like, of course I'll sign your vinyl. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're so nice to you, but just bizarre. I was just like, you do know we're like you, but, you know, we're from the other end of the world or whatever. It was just like, just nice, really funny, and they're really, like, it's really strange playing a gig there, because you finish the song, they clap, and then it's pin drop quiet. That's like that's courteous, you know, like they say they kind of do that as in, you know, like, we're so grateful for you coming over. They want to hear every word you've got to say, and it kind of freaked me out at the start, but, like, halfway through I was kind of like, wow, people want to listen to what, like, the songs are about and stuff. So it went from being that kind of, like, it's different, you know what I mean? It went from that being that, like, Glasgow crowd, like, way, like, it was almost like an acoustic set, or playing in a theatre. So it was strange. The first couple of songs, I was kind of freaked out by it, and they, you know, like, they wear masks over there to keep themselves, like, hygienic, I guess. Like, we don't do any of that stuff in England. So, like, I seen people pulling their masks down to sing the lyrics and stuff. It's really strange, man. It was surreal. I've never been to Tokyo and stuff like that, so it was great. And we went around the record shops, and all our albums were sold out there, and it was just absolute chaos. And I had, like, bands interviewing me. Like, there was a load of, like, Japanese bands who were really big fans of our band, and you know, they were miles bigger than us. They were, like, really big bands in Japan, and just crazy, mate. It's proper like being in, you know, the Yellow Submarine cartoon or something. It was just that kind of surreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never been to Japan myself. I need to get there. I should come for your show, right?
Yeah, mate, do it's crazy.
So you were telling me before you've
Yeah.
written a lot of this next album, right?
Yeah, all of it's done. Yeah, I finished
Okay.
it. I finished it before we finished recording this one. Like I said, like you said, like you know what, like last time we spoke, like I was the exact same as I am now. Like we want football stadiums. It's about football stadiums, and you don't get there without that kind of graft. And I just want to play those massive gigs for people again and throw those big parties. I never got to go to Spike Island and see Stone Roses. You know what I mean? And that is where I'm from, where that was, and like, and I never seen Nebworth Oasis. I got to see Arctic Monkeys in Lancashire Cricket Ground, which was like 66,000, and like my best mates, it was Amy Winehouse, the Parrot to a Beatles tribute who we seen in Tokyo. That was great. The Coral, Supergrass, and the Arctic Monkeys for 25 quid, so like what, $35?
That's a great show.
Mate, it was unreal. And the Arctic Monkeys aren't even one of my favourite bands, but when I was a kid, that was unreal. Like, so like, I'd love to do that for like 16-year-old lads now, like who are thinking about starting a band. Be able to do that for them, like the Arctics did for me and Benji, our bass player. Like, we just wanted to do that. So yeah, we don't want to wait around. Like we're not happy with putting our album out with the rest of the bands that put their albums out this year. We want to catch like London Grammar in 1975 and Bastille and all those people. Want to catch them up, and then once we cut them up, we want to put one out when the Arctics are doing theirs. And we don't want to. I want to have three or four albums out by the time other bands have just started writing the second. So we're quite a simple band. A lot of the bands out nowadays are very like, technical and intelligent, and they write on computers and can do all kinds of mad stuff. But I can't. I can play an acoustic guitar just about and write words that mean something to me, and that's it. That's all I've got. So it's quite simple for me.
Can you write on the road?
Yeah, I could write if somebody give me a subject matter and and an idea of how they want the song to sound. I could write an album in 10 minutes. Like this next album it took me a week to write. Like it literally I moved into a place with my best mate who's a guitar tech and just wrote a song about like the last year or two. Like the whole album's about like just life affirming. It's like widescreen, and it's like after going to America, I kind of understood like what it needed to kind of what people wanted to. What kind of what meant something to people out here. So I kind of went home and just opened my eyes a bit and stopped being so kind of narrow-minded. Like the way I wrote was kind of quintessentially English, I think, but now I kind of write in bigger songs, more widescreen. But I still think it's got that charm. Like there's songs on it. There's a song about Glasgow on there, and there's a song about Sheffield on there, and there's loads of little kind of colloquialisms and like stuff that you can relate to from Britain. But it's just about me and my best mate going around the world together, you know what I mean? And it's a life affirming. It's just one of them. Everything that's on the radio to me at the moment it's all morbid. It's all like, even the stuff that's like meant to be happy. The stuff like, like the pop music, which is all about like haters and all that kind of stuff. Like all that kind of thing. I don't get that. So the new stuff is just about like what's been happening, like but positive, life affirming. Like. An attitude, a nice attitude to it. I just want people to put it on I just want people to feel the way I used to feel when I used to like listen to Oasis when I was a kid and feel like the sun's come out for a bit. You know what I mean? I like that feeling when it feels like the sun's come up and everyone's gone. Just a breath of fresh air. I hope it comes across as like when we get it recorded. I hope it just comes across as that.
Oh, I bet it will. You mentioned the Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
And their sound, of course, they live in L.A. now.
Yeah.
Their sound became more American on this last album. I think it was that Queens of the Stone Age influence for them. But it hasn't hurt them at all.
I love that third Arctic Monkeys record. That's the one that critically got like panned in England, but that was my favourite one. But the sound, I don't think the sound's changed much. Like, because at the end of the day, we're just like I'm still 22. I've not seen anything yet. You know what I mean? Like I've got 5 years before I have to write my Sex on Fire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or my Wonderwall before I even start thinking about that. So there's still songs about me being me and us being us and living in England and stuff. It's still all the lyrics and stuff are still about England, but it's just about, well, I don't know if they are about England. It's just about touring. It's not Americanized in any way. It's just like it's exactly the same as the first album, I guess, but bigger, more soulful. I think it's more soulful. I think it. To me, it seems like there's a 5 years deficit between like that album. The first album sounds like it was written by an 18-year-old because it was, and this album feels like it's been written by like a 22, 23-year-old because it has. So like, I'm just proud of it. I think all the lyrics are strong and big, and and honest. I think it's more honest than the last one.
When might, if all goes according to schedule, when
Yeah.
might we actually get to see that album?
I literally don't know it. Like I said, it's been done for ages to me. So once we took this one around the world once, then as soon as I get the, I'm not supposed to start writing the album till April. Like the record company put in the calendar, April, month off for Van to write the album, second album, start demoing, like just to get 1 or 2 songs ready, you know, like. So when April comes, I'm just gonna be like, hello, you know, like I've had this ready for ages. I'm gonna go on holiday or something. So I don't know. Maybe we'll record it in April. Depends if we all can keep our eyes open. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever, man, I'm ready to do it. Whenever, I just want to keep going and keep building and just show people how serious we are. You know, like show people how much them investing in us this early on, like America selling this tour out and the next one and putting Kathleen in the charts. For a band like us, like, you know, saying thank you doesn't show it. There's no word that can say how much we appreciate it. You know what I mean? It's so I want to say thank you with an album or like all those football stadiums. I'd love to get the people who believe in us. Like I'd love for them to be able to turn around to people, their mates who don't believe in us, and go, "Aren't you gutted you're not coming to these stadiums now?" You know what I mean? That'd be great. So.
Oh no, that sounds great.
Thank you.
Can't wait for that. I know you've got to go.
Yeah.
But it's been great to catch up
Mate,
with you, man.
thank you
We could have gone another half hour.
Mate, thank you.
Yeah.
Mate, it's a pleasure.
But I'm excited to see you guys tonight.
Thank you very much.
And I will. Maybe I'll say hi if you're around afterwards.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
man,
we'll see you back in LA.
Yeah. If you fancy it, yeah, we're going to be around all night. So, yeah, I'm going to go have a sleep for a bit, try and get my head together.
That sounds great.
Sweet.
All right, Fan.
Thank you very much,
buddy.
mate. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Take care. Same here.